Hello and welcome to the Whole Being Healing Podcast. I'm Lisa Warner. I'm the author of The Simplicity of Self-Healing and co-creator of Whole Being Healing.
And I'm Maura S. I am co-author with my husband Keith of the 7 Steps to Successful Relationships and co-creator with Lisa of Lisa and Maura's Magical Mystery School for Whole Being Healers and the Whole Being Healing Transformational Experience. And today we have the pleasure, besides having the pleasure of speaking with each other, which we always have, we have the pleasure of a beautiful guest joining us today. It's our friend Adele Bernard. She is just a joy and so full of life and so interesting. She is uniquely herself in a way that I really appreciate. And Lisa is going to tell you more things about Adele.
Adele Bernard is a soul strategist, intuitive guide, and podcast host of Authentic Conversations with Adele, who creates sacred spaces for reconnecting with truth, strength, and heart. With a gift for reading energy and holding presence, she supports life transitions, releasing old patterns, and embodying authenticity. Through sacred circle work, Adele helps you drop the mask, find your voice, and create lasting change by living with clarity, depth, and purpose. Welcome, Adele.
I love
Thank you
that.
for having me on the show. It's going to be fun.
Yeah, we had a lot of fun on your podcast, and I'm really glad that you wanted to come on ours. It's awesome. So, the way we usually start is to make a reference to the mission that Lisa and I have with our mystery school, which is to um, shift from fear to love to, um,
Activate the ability to self heal
yeah, thank you, Lisa.
It's like you guys never do this together
and
by
align with
finishing each
our
other's
soul purpose.
sentences.
And align with our soul purpose is what I was getting to finally, which is yeah, what we're really interested in, and we know that our viewers will be as well, is what has been your path up to now and your journey that has brought you to where you are now in terms of living into your soul purpose. It sounds like you definitely are living into it based on what Lisa just read us. But yeah, I would love to hear whatever comes forward for you to share right now about the path to getting here.
Well, I'll go back a few years because I was aware at 3 that I was different. I knew things that people didn't know. I would say things, and adults in my life would be like, "Why is she saying that?" And then it would happen. And I would never say I was psychic, but I just had this inner knowing. And then throughout life, it became harder because when I was younger, I would just sit in my room with God and we'd
Mm.
have conversations, and it was just wonderful. And I also said I would never pick to come here. He said, "You did." And I'm like, "I'll disagree to disagree." Right? Um, and then, and then as a teenager, it got cumbersome because I would know things, people wouldn't listen. Then I'd be like, "Well, you didn't listen." Like, don't get mad at me. I'm just a messenger. And so, um, and then when I was in my corporate career, I knew there's more, right? And so I used to help people with their businesses and their homes, especially clearing out what's stuck in the walls
Mm.
because your walls do talk. The couch does hold that imprint of who came over for dinner on Friday and had still lingered. And so I was doing a lot of energetic um, cleansings of homes and businesses. And then God guided me into more coaching. And I'm like, I'm not a coach. I have no letters after my name.
Mhm.
And he goes, but you're not doing it. And I go, right, you're doing it. Got
Mhm.
it. Okay, so I can do it. And now I have evolved to working primarily with men, but more importantly, our first responders and veterans.
Mm.
And Um, I was talking to one firefighter saying, well, how do you know you can work with us? Because we've had all these people, they don't even get through one session with one person without, they're like, yeah, we can't do this. Right. And I said, well, I don't care about your story. He goes, what do you mean? I go, I don't care to rehash the story of what you're trying to release. I just need you to be ready to release and move forward. And he's like, really? And I'm like, yeah. Are you ready to release the trauma that's keeping you stuck in the mental game of life? And he's like, that's incredible. And I go, yeah, because it's not me. I'm just a vessel that God works through. And before this started, I was going through my automatic writing with God, and the retreat that I'm doing at the end of September, that's been on the underground for a long time. It's been in my writing and I had no idea. And I was like, cool. So that's my short answer. So
That's so cool. I love hearing that. And it's so true what you did because like Lisa and I talk about at the very beginning of our course is healing is a choice. Like
yeah.
that's how you do it. You make the choice.
Hmm.
Once you make the choice, like that's the hard part, right? The easy part comes after that. It just it happens naturally.
Well, and I think it's like we make it a big decision for this life-changing event, right? But it's no different than making the choice to have a baby, making the choice to be married, making the choice to take the job. You're making the choice. You're making the choice the car you drive. Like it, do we go to the lake today or not? Like it's just we're always constantly in that choice,
Hmm.
right? And I want to just step back a second because I wouldn't be on this podcast if a friend didn't reintroduce me to Keith.
Hmm.
Because she's like, oh, I met someone you have to talk to. And I'm like, okay. That's what I say to everyone she refers me. Okay. And then I get on, I'm like, and then it was so much fun because I said, okay. And even you, Mira, said that at the beginning of this. It's like, thank you for saying yes.
Hmm.
And that's the biggest thing that I can say to people or clients that work with me. Say yes to you. Say yes to the path that you are supposed to be on. And maybe you're not, right? Like maybe you are a first responder because you felt you had to, because everyone, male in your family, has been a first responder and you want to be an artist, right? You're going to have a lot different feeling going into that job if it's placed on you rather than a choice you made.
Yeah.
So,
Do you find a lot with the men that you work with that there's like a sort of a disconnect around worthiness? Does that come up a lot?
um, definitely brokenness.
Mm.
The the vets that I've spoken to was, well, home life sucked, right? I'll go find my family in the services. And so they go in broken boys and they come out broken, wounded men. And there was one person I was talking to out of his whole infantry. He's the only one that's fully made it, if he can say that. But half of his infantry took their life, and the other half are just trying to survive. And I said, what made the difference for you? And he says, well, I believed them. They'll pay for my schooling. So I went. So he took the choice to go back to school, get a degree, Now he's self-employed with his degree, and he survived.
Mm.
And I think this is a wake-up call every country needs to listen to, that these men and women are joining because they're figuring it's the last hope. And then when they come home, we discard them,
Hmm.
right? They're just a number. And if my little things up in the mountains or wherever they are going to be in the world is a start to helping these men, then serving God and
Yeah,
follow.
thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's where I'll say thank you for your service. To me, it's appropriate.
Well, and it's like it's been a challenge for me to step up in this way too, because I'm like, why are they going to listen to me? Who am I to tell them, like, you know, that they're doing such a beautiful job in their service to us as the civilians, and yet, like, who am I to say what's right or what's wrong in their life? And it was actually someone in the sober community who said, "Well, who are you not?" And I said, "Meaning?" And he says, "Well, we all, like, 'cause I didn't know why they tried to find me either. Um, we all look at you as the light of God of who we're trying to strive for."
Hmm.
And it's like, what? Like I was just like my heart just like broke open when I heard that. I was like, but I see the light of God in you. And they said, we don't see that in us yet.
Right.
We're still trying to get through the addictions. And it's like, wow. So, but like I said, I don't know any different. God's been visiting me at the in my bed like, my whole life. Like, right?
But
Like
but if we all did what comes naturally, like
yeah,
we'd all be happy and we'd all be supporting each other and we'd all be totally fulfilled.
yeah. We're getting there. We're getting there. The three of
Yeah.
us are getting there. You know. Yeah, and that's all we can do, right? Is bring that word of kindness back,
Mhm.
Mhm.
you know? I mean, if anything that I get like down the rabbit hole in is watching the reels of people being kind. I don't know where and how they get all the money to give away like that, but it's just like, oh my gosh, like they're changing so many people by buying some tacos, right?
Mm,
Mm.
Because they're going to go home that day and remember that they were bought tacos
mm,
and see how they can give back in their community in their own way.
mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yep.
it would be really nice when the world is filled with kindness instead of war, so we don't have to be serving in these militaries and, all of that. It's be heaven
Like
on
I don't
earth. If we're all following God's plan, then heaven on earth is the plan.
I don't know if we'll ever get rid of military for military, like the services, because they do, regardless of war, they do something. I just don't know exactly what at this moment. Um, like it's eluding me. Like I can see it, but I can't explain it. But it's like taking away um things like ocean stuff. Like people check out the ocean or people like yeah, like they have their place. I just don't know if they have to be as big as they are.
Well, yeah, I mean, it seems like you're talking about like service to humanity, service
Yeah.
that supports, you know, people being safe and all that. And
Hmm.
yeah, absolutely. That's great.
Hmm.
But but the yeah, it's the war thing. That's the part that
Well, and I mean, I I finished college and I did a practicum in the Young Offender Center. And I was working with the psychiatrist. And I said, is it my imagination or did these kids really not have a choice? Like this was a safe place for them?
Mm,
And he said 80% it was a safe place
mm,
because home wasn't good.
mm-hmm,
So they started doing crimes. So at least they were safe in
mm-hmm.
the young offenders jail.
Yeah.
Right. And it's like, oh my gosh, like that's crazy.
Mhm.
And we even had this one kid, like I said, wait a minute, he's only 10 years old. I thought you had to be 12 to come to jail. And they said, well, we had to put him in here because we had nowhere to put him. And he's thriving because he has rules, he has food, he has help, right?
Yeah.
Because his parents were crackheads.
Mm.
So he like, will he ever get a life? I don't know.
Mm,
Yeah. But then you see on the other side of like this young man got adopted by this couple because they had no kids and they had a huge farm.
mm,
Mm.
And he used to go on the weekends and help on the farm and they adopted him. And so he's going to inherit the farm. Whether he keeps it or not, I don't know. But I thought that's so cool.
yeah.
Yeah.
That's how people are. That's how we are in our natural divine state
Hmm.
is we want to support each other. We want to do things for each other and help each other,
Hmm.
and all the stuff, there's just all the stuff that gets us in the way of that is a lot of us not just like what you said about taking on what you do. Who am
Hmm.
I to tell them? Who am I to do this? And I discovered in the book business that Keith and I started, 25 years ago, that the people that I looked to as the most sort of successful, people with authority, and I still had this feeling of, oh, they're better than me, and I didn't even realize it, right? But until I noticed myself being like uncomfortable to help work with them on their books, and then they'd get on a call with me and they'd be saying to me, "Well, who am I to write this? There's a lot of books out there. I mean, what do I have to share?" And I'm just like, "Are you kidding me?" And
Well,
I discovered that they all felt that way.
and so I'll spin it in a different way. I am not the strong reader, right? Like reading is my worst way of learning. Amazing how many people give me their book to proofread before publication because I'm like if if the Grammarly is wrong, then everything I write is wrong. Because I've heard from publishers don't use Grammarly, it's really wrong. And I'm like, well, I don't know where to put punctuation, right? Um, and so, but I'll read these books before publication. I'll go circle, circle, check this sentence out. It doesn't read right. Like typo, and they're like, how do you find so many mistakes? I go, how do you not find them? And I'm saying big authors, I've read their book after, and I'm like, how do you have so many typos? Don't you have paid people to proofread? But I'll find them.
All right, we might need you on our team, Adele.
If you can wait, I'm a slow reader, but I find things.
Yeah, well, you can feel it. This is the way I am
Yeah.
with editing. I don't really like editing. I kind of had a love-hate relationship with it when I was doing it, and I never studied it professionally. But I was a natural that I could just feel when I can feel when I'm reading something when it doesn't feel right. And what
Yeah.
Keith used to say about the proofreader that we had, who was maybe we still have, maybe it's the one we still have. I don't remember if it was one we had previously. But she was a really good proofreader, and he used to say, "Yeah, he used to tell people, yeah, if something's not right, it'll just like reach off the page and smack her in the face." It's like you just feel it, you know it.
Yeah.
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 Of course, now we have all these automatic systems for things that uh,
Don't trust them. Don't trust them.
I don't
Like,
mean
yeah.
I don't mean we as in our publishing company. We have not gone down that route.
No,
So,
but I mean, it's like I was in a group and we were talking about, well, how do you use AI and how do you use it? And I said, yes, I use AI for the fact that getting a podcast out takes a lot of time, and I'm not willing to put any more hours than I already do to it. So do I use AI for the show notes? Absolutely. But it's taking the podcast notes. I'm not telling, like, I'm saying, please keep take this whole hour or whatever and scrunch it and highlight A, B, C. I want it done like this. And it goes push. And I go push. Do I still have to edit it? Yes. But
yeah,
if I had to like go through and pull all that out, I would have kaput done.
yeah.
Right. And you guys know, like, there's like, you love doing the show, but when it takes 20 hours a week to get one show out, no, that's not a good time. Right. Because it's not like it's, raking in millions of dollars yet. Yet. We don't know what's going to happen. Right. Like the one guy says, oh, yeah, I'm an overnight success. 9 years of grinding. Like,
Right.
so, yeah.
Yeah. We use the one thing we found really helpful with AI is like it can see what we create, it can see what we do in a way that we can't see it because we're on the inside and it's looking from the
Hmm.
outside and it kind of reflects
Hmm.
back. It's like, well, here's where you're doing this that's really unique and this is really unique and here's this is what you're doing. And I was like, oh, thank you. Like for
Yep.
describing what we're doing in a way that we can't.
Well, and to that effect, one, I don't know if it was a podcast or something else I was writing, but it said, this is really good. You should trademark it. Do you think I wrote that one down? And I have no idea. I have no idea. But maybe it'll come up in my notes. I don't know.
Right?
Yeah. I just keep on asking, what was that trademark I was supposed to do? Uh,
If you were supposed to do it, you would have done it.
Well, maybe it's not time to do it. Maybe
Yeah,
it's coming.
exactly.
I don't know. Just like the men's retreat for the first responders. Like when it came into my awareness, I was like, no. I literally said no. And so it got dropped for a few days. And then someone would be referred to me and I'm like, are you serious? Because it'd be a firefighter, a police officer, or what? I'm like, I thought I said no to this. Okay, whatever. Right? And then I'd be like, okay, I'm following the breadcrumbs. I cannot deny this. And yeah, now the final details of the retreat are being made.
So is this a first time thing or have you been?
First time thing.
Oh, cool.
Well, like it's not the first time I've created retreats, but I've never been the speaker and I've always been behind the scenes, the
Mm.
organizer, the putting it together, that whatever. And now I'm at all. And I'm like, cool, this is a lot. And
Is it
that
going to be a large group or a small group or you don't
no,
know yet?
I'm keeping it to 30 just because it's my first one and I want it to truly be an intimate circle.
Hmm.
Nice.
I don't want to be standing on a stage talking to them
Hmm.
because I'll even get bored of that in 30 minutes. But I want that sharing circle. I want that and that's why it's kind of hard because I have this entire vision of like through the forest bathing and sound baths and like, oh, if I could find like a place that we can go and have that campfire, right?
Yeah.
As one of the things at night to just like throw it all in there, let it burn. It no
Yeah.
longer exists. And so, yeah, I think I'm trying to do like this big extravaganza on a beer budget,
Right.
right? Like if I had multi-millions, let's do the extravaganza. Yeah. but I also have to make it feasible and affordable for them.
Well, and you're just starting it. I mean, maybe you'll have someone come in who wants to sponsor it, wants to support it and make it.
Oh, yeah.
That would be cool.
Yeah, I do have on the flyer and sponsorships are available because
Nice.
yeah, like even if the hotel wants to sponsor some and um yeah, because like how I have it on the flyer is sponsorship to leave no one behind.
Mm.
Nice.
Like I don't want cost. Like I know one veteran that um I think he it would benefit, but I'll let the breadcrumbs fall. Because because I learned this the other day. Just because we have intuitions or guidance or whatever, that well, you're going to end up in Timbuktu, right? Well, path A could be it, path B could be it, path C could be it, or they might come up with D, and we're like, D, what's D? Well, this is the path I'm taking. Okay, see you in Timbuktu, right? Like we don't know the exact path. Only the person themselves will know that path, right? It's just like you two working together. Like you didn't say, "Well, I'm gonna phone each other up and we're gonna." No, you let the path unfold, and it meandered how it needed to meander, you know. And just because I might say like, "Oh, you guys are working together, it's so awesome," and you two would be like, "She's crazy," and then eventually I go, "Yeah, we all ended up here together," right? Like we don't know.
Yeah. Well, except in
Just
this case, Lisa, she had it all manipulated and worked out in her head, and she tricked me into
There you go. Right.
yeah,
it. She was
twisting that
planning it
rubber
in
arm,
her
right? That
She was,
rubber arm just wouldn't, No, but I mean, it's just like, because I think about, when I'm at the point that I can hire an assistant, but I do both sides. Like I've done the assistant side, but I've done the boss side that I'm like, I don't know, I kind of got this good seesaw going, right? Until I go, you have a website? Well, yeah, that's where the assistant could come in. Because I never get back to it,
but
right?
that's one of the toughest things when you're the type of person who, I don't know, I don't do all these like framework human design type things and all those, so I don't know which one it is, but
Hmm.
the one who can do everything and the one who sees how everything works and then just to take the time to find the right person, train them and
Hmm.
get them to do what you want them to do. It's easier to just do it yourself.
And that's why every job I had in corporate, as I was learning the job by no one to show me, because whoever was always in the job got canned before I got there. Um, as I was learning it, I make the binder.
Right.
So, right, like as this process is done, I wrote it down. As this process, I wrote it down, right?
Yeah.
And so when I would leave, I'd tell the boss at the time, "Here's the binder for my replacement." And they'd be like, really? And I'm like, yeah, because I came into a gong show,
Right.
right? And it just, why?
Right. I remember doing the
Yeah.
same things. Like, why don't you have any of this stuff written down? Like, how am I supposed to know what I'm supposed to be doing here if you don't have it all written down? It's like, all right, let
Or,
me just start taking some notes.
well, yeah, like, and then it was like, because my last position is project coordinator, right? For pipelines. And I'm like, why do we not have the contracts? And they go, well, it's with the contracts, guys. So you go up to the contracts, go get them rather than just have a couple like file cabinets here. Oh, I go, yeah. So I put the file cabinets in. And they're like, oh my God, this makes so much sense. Yeah. So the contractors could come in and see their contract. The PMs could come and see their contract. And then I got all the gifts. And I go, perfect. And
Mhm.
they'd always put a note. It's your choice to share with the team. Of course I did, but like, but it was just like, it just didn't make sense why we're putting so many roadblocks in to the material that everyone needed every day.
Right.
I don't understand.
Yeah. Yeah. That's kind of why we created whole being healing. Taking all the notes that nobody's taken before. It's like, here's how life actually works. Here's how our bodies actually work. Here's how healing works. Like, here's
Hmm.
here's a foundation. Here. Might be helpful.
Well,
And
and okay, here's a question for you guys that just popped into my head. Have you noticed everyone that is scared of the C word ends up getting it? Like
Right.
so many people. Oh, I can't talk about it. And I'm like, well, talk about it so you don't get it. And they're like, what? And I go, if you're afraid of getting cancer, talk about it so it doesn't go in your body to actually manifest.
hmm, interesting. I do the opposite, Adele. Do you know, did I tell you about the reversal spell thing?
If
I've
you
talked
did, I
about
don't
it
remember.
a few
So,
times. Yeah, you might have heard me. So if I'm afraid of something and it has to do with a diagnosis word like that, which I know is not a real fear. I mean, none of it's real. It's just a word. It's just a made up name
hmm
about
hmm
something. And if I'm afraid about it, I will uh, spell the word backwards on paper and then read it, like figure out how to pronounce it in its backwards form. And then every time I have the thought about that word that's fearful, I'll say it the other way, backwards, and it'll take it right out of my mind.
Interesting. No, that's cool.
And I did that years ago with this was one of the, this was back when I got like had my first I'm going to a doctor and getting tests, which was basically my last. I didn't do it anymore. Well, no, the last was after the thyroid diagnosis. This was, I think, before that, or maybe I don't know. It was around the same time. And
Yeah.
and so they did a test for something that I really did not want to be diagnosed with. And
hmm
so I figured out what the backwards thing was, but they were pretty sure, like based on what was presenting, they were like, "Oh yeah, I'm sure it's going to show up this, but let's do the test just to confirm it." And I was like, "Yeah, no, I don't want that." So I don't want the diagnosis. So I flipped it around backwards and I just kept saying it. And then when the results came back, I remember this woman, she was like, "That's so weird. Like it does, the test is negative." And I was like, "Oh, cool."
Well, and it was like I was interviewing this guy for a possible thing for the podcast, and he was going to medical school, but medical school rejected him 3 times in a row. And he goes, "Why?" And later in life he says, "Oh no, I kept on studying the medical staff because it interests me, but there was no way I could be a doctor." And I go, "Well, what's your answer? Because I got one." He goes, "The system would have killed me." I said, "Yeah, I saw you in handcuffs." Right? But, and he loves studying the brain. And he was able to help me understand why I was emphatic with my doctor to send me for a brain scan. And I was just like, she sent me, but we both didn't understand why because everything came back clear, right? And he said, well, you could have hit your thumb and said, nothing, no big deal. And a little virus infection goes up to the brain. And it takes brain fog to a whole new level. Like you don't know that you lost your keys because you don't know there's keys to be found. Like you don't have a concept of what keys are, right? And that's where I was when I went for my brain scan. And I said, I've been questioning this. And I always just go, let it go. Whoever has the answer will share. And he went down through the whole thing of why it'll happen. And I'm like, oh my gosh. Like it's crazy. It's crazy.
Yeah, it is crazy.
Because, and after coming out of the brain scan, I went, I actually asked for this. It was the most terrifying thing I've ever done in my life. And I'm not fearful of anything.
Hmm.
Right. And I'm like, okay, we're just going to reverse this out. Like, yeah.
Yeah.
So back to your thing. So you don't go and get tests for nothing. You trust your body to share what it needs to share.
Mhm.
Yep.
That's cool.
My body's always working exactly the way it's designed to work. Even when I found myself facing cancer, right? That
Yeah.
was that was my biggest aha moment on my self-healing journey. It's like I knew my body told me like don't go the medical route. We're not doing that. And I was like, well, what else am I supposed to do? Right?
Yeah.
And I looked around for people who are teaching self-healing. Like, I need to know how to heal myself. So where are the self-healer teachers? And there weren't any. It's like, wow, okay. So I figured I better do it myself. And then as I was sitting in meditation asking, what do I need to know? The answer came very clearly. It's like, hey, Lisa, your body is doing exactly what it's designed to do. It's
Hmm.
performing perfectly under the given circumstances. So, it was completely obvious that I was not being attacked by anything. So, part of the whole being afraid of these diagnoses, we need to understand what the diagnoses are and, where they come from and what's behind
Hmm.
them and what's actually true. Because there's something that's completely different that's true for our bodies.
Well, and I think every book I've read in that journey of health, like whether um like Dr. Nordstrom or the medical medium or eat for your blood type or trust me, I've read a lot. Um, it's also just take what you need and forget the rest or what you think you need, right? Because your eyes will find the sentence in the 300-page book that is gnawing in your brain, right? Because there's many times I'll go through books and I go, okay, something needs to come out of this book. Tell me what page. And I flip, flip, flip. Boom. Thank you. And I carry on my day.
Yeah, that's one way. I mean, we have a natural ability to connect to the knowing, to
Hmm.
divine guidance, to our bodies, to
Hmm.
the natural world. But we've been disconnected from that ability through the way that things are done in the world we live in.
Yeah.
And, just more and more and more. It's gotten more technical, it's gotten more fear-based, it's gotten more like more tests, more, early detection, all these things that were not part of this divine design. They're not natural.
Hmm.
And and again, nothing against anybody that's doing that, because everybody's
Hmm.
path is everybody's path, just like you said.
Hmm.
And, I've seen people who have healed themselves uh, through a medical procedure and
Hmm.
process, but
Hmm.
in my view, they were healing themselves from that medical procedure and process. From what I could see, that thing nearly killed them. And then
Yeah.
I saw what they did to counteract that with their love and their joy and their focus on well-being and their body's ability to heal itself. So
Well,
it's like we can overcome these things. And again, I'm not saying there's no value at all. I mean, there's emergency medicine can be life-saving,
absolutely.
right?
But it's
But
also, sorry to cut you off.
no, it's all right.
Well,
Well,
because,
the last thing I was gonna say is just like you said, if you're looking for something, you'll find it in the book, it'll pop out. And
Hmm.
what I say about the, or what we say about the medical system is when you're looking for something, you'll find it. So if you go in and do tests, they're probably going to find something. And is it really something? Is it not? You don't always know. And then what happens? And then questions and fear and, oh, we could do this, we could do this. And then maybe you do something that didn't need to be done. I mean, there's just so, it's just a big can of worms,
Mhm.
right?
Yeah. And it's interesting because I probably have helped my body more in listening to my body through my cars. Because in my
You're what?
20s, through my cars, in my 20s, I was burning my body candle at five ends. And then I'd go, what do you mean I blew up another engine? Right? Because if I didn't have a car to drive, well, then it forced me to stay home, didn't it? So I'd blow up my car engines. And then, so now it's just really interesting. Like when I drive, I don't have anything playing. Even on long trips, I don't have anything playing because I'm listening to the motor. I'm listening for everything, right? And so I'll say, like, oh, well, just do this with your car and it'll run better. Especially males will not listen. I go, that's your choice. Like, I don't care. But I'm just saying, like, if you've gone through as many cars as I had because I was burning my physical body out, not listening, I pay attention to my cars, right? And I used to have a lot of mechanical people in my life, and they're like, how do you know before? I go, I just know, right? I just, you know, and yes, so it's just, it's interesting how we're shown to pay attention,
Hmm.
Hmm.
right?
Yep.
Right.
And then like I love it with young kids too, because they're just so authentically them that if you're not paying attention, they're like, "Are you listening?" And you're like, yeah." And then I'm like, "Oh no, not to what you're. Okay, got it." And then they go, "Okay," and then they go, leave, right? Like it's like because the answer's right in front of you, but you're not listening. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Out of the mouths of babes, we
Kids are
just have to listen.
wonderful.
Right? Children are very, very wise, but they're not given
Very
credit
wise,
for being very, very wise, which
and
is,
they're coming in very strong now.
yes, indeed. Yep. The next generation of leaders, the ones who are really going to help us create heaven on earth.
Well, they're not only just leaders, they're crossbreeds. Like they're
Say more.
50-50, either angelic or galactic and human. Or that's what I'm noticing. Like they just, yeah, they have their humanness for their parents, but they're connected.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Right? They're all grand beings of light, all connected.
Yeah. What
Hmm.
if we're all angelic
Well, yeah. Well,
and
I
we just
think
don't know it yet?
we all are, but I think the door closing um to forget was thicker for us than I think it is for this new
Oh,
generation
gotcha. Yeah,
coming in,
exactly. They know
right? Like
they know.
they're just gonna say, "There's not a door. Or I might have a veil. I don't want the veil. You need the veil. I don't need the veil."
Hmm.
Right? Yeah, that's powerful.
Yeah.
But I think it's also I understand Michael Jackson's music now more than ever,
Mm.
right? Like, yeah, just the different songs, just the different and what he really was here to share was so misunderstood.
Do you want to say more about that?
Um, it's like, okay, let's just look at man in the mirror, right? Everything in life is a mirror of what we are putting out.
Hmm.
Mhm,
So if we're not liking what's coming back,
mhm,
look in the mirror. Are you liking what you're putting out? Are you being that kind? Are you being that generous? Are you being grateful and thoughtful and forgiving? Or are you like finger pointing and saying, like, that's wrong and you're dumb or whatever it is, right? And yeah, and it was just like, it was crazy when I started. I never really listened to him growing up, but it's like after the last 4 or 5 years, I'm like, why is everyone talking about Michael Jackson so much right now? So I started
mhm.
listening, and I'm like, wow, he was saying so much
Yeah.
right in front of us, and we all glossed over it,
Mm.
right?
Well, I definitely heard it in that song. I remember when that song came out. I had forgotten all about it, so I'm glad you mentioned it. But
Hmm.
yeah, I was like, wow, because I wasn't really paying much attention because he was, he was a pop star, and I loved him as a kid when he was a kid. You know,
Hmm.
I
Oh
loved
yeah, I love
loved
the
Jackson
Jackson Five.
5.
Like,
Yeah,
yeah,
that was super fun.
yeah.
And so I just had those memories. But then when he became a pop star, it just kind of looked like it was all glitz and glamour and popularity and all that stuff. So I wasn't really paying a lot of attention, like you said.
Mhm,
And then when Man in the Mirror came out, I was just like, whoa, that's good stuff.
mhm,
That's the real
Yeah,
deal.
but but then, yeah, it's really interesting because all these bands that I grew up with, thinking, oh, they're so good, um, all have way different meanings now. Like
mhm.
Pink Floyd won't touch it with a 10-foot pole, right? Um, yeah, like it's really interesting. And then the joke was there's a picture when Madonna was doing her whatever Madonna does when she had the railroad tracks. Like it wasn't braces. She put railroad tracks on her teeth. And someone made a meme saying, who would have ever thought that Roseanne Barr would be better looking than Madonna? And they put them together. Madonna looked hideous and Roseanne Barr was glowing. And I'm like,
Wow.
oh my gosh, right? You just like, yeah. But then it comes back to put everything backwards, reverse it before it even comes out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. No,
Like,
it's fascinating. It's,
There certainly have been lots of reversals and it's like it's like we're flipping the script on so many things now that we
hmm
made assumptions about in our lives for generations, our ancestors, and we did because that's what we were taught. And now we're
hmm
seeing, wait a minute, it's the other way around,
hmm
you know, which feels
well,
weird. At first, it's like, wait a minute, that can't be true. But then it's like, yeah, that it's like we were just talking about the proofreading and editing. You can feel it. You can feel it
mhm.
when it's true. Whereas we've been fed all these things that are like, this is true, this is true, this is true, this is science, this is education, this is how this works, this is how this works. And there were certain classes in school where I was just like, yeah, it doesn't feel right. It doesn't feel
Well,
right to me. History was one of them. Doesn't feel right.
mhm.
Now it's like, I don't
I
know.
think I
I wasn't
think
there. I don't know.
I got the topper for that one. So I go to school, and one day I write in my right hand, and the next day I write my left. And I was told, don't write my left. We write right-handed. And I'm like, okay. And I'd go home and see everyone writing left-handed, and I'm like, okay. So I'd write left-handed. Go back to school, write right-handed. And then I said, why are we not allowed to write with our left hand in school? And my mom says, what do you mean? I said, the teacher won't let us.
Hmm.
So I got out of that class and went to the next grade and was back and forth. No, 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 we write right-handed. And I come home and see all my family writing left-handed. I'm like, why am I not allowed to write left-handed? So I just secretly kept my left hand going at home.
Yeah,
Nice.
so you're ambidextrous. Nice.
Yeah.
Wow.
right? And then it was really funny. So I used to waitress and do banquets a lot, and my coworkers used to get mad. And I'm like, "What?" And they go, "How are you able to go to it?" And I'm like, "Because I'm lazy. I don't want to come back for every time for a different pot." Like, right? If you hold your cup, I won't dump it on you. Like, and yeah, they were just like, "How do you do that?" Because I had a whole bunch of left-handers in my family, and I was told in school it was wrong.
Mm.
Nice. Yeah.
And no one could teach me why it was wrong.
Right?
And
Exactly.
no one in my family came into the school and said, it's not wrong,
Yeah. Yeah.
right?
So much of society is like, we do it this way. And just like,
Yeah. And it's
okay.
like,
And nobody questions it. But then when you ask why, like when you really look at it, why, it's like, wow. All right.
yeah.
But that's what's going on
But
now.
then it
There's a
comes
lot more
back.
questioning going on now.
Sorry?
There's a lot more questioning going on now, you
Yeah,
know.
thank
Oh,
goodness.
absolutely. But it also comes back to the original question of like, it's hard to give it up to the assistant because I do it both sides. Right? Like
Hmm.
when I
Yeah,
got to be logical, I'll be logical. When I got to be creative, I'll be creative. I can flow in between. Well, how to explain that to someone who's only logical or only creative?
right.
I won't be explaining it because that's why I just take it all on and do it.
Yep.
Right. And maybe that's why at the 11th hour, I ended up with every class project, even in university. And they're like, wait a minute, why am I doing this all by myself? So,
Yeah.
mm,
And
but
then and
yeah,
then
no, it's.
and then was
Mhm.
that something that you needed to was that part of your healing process and noticing that? Because I know a lot of us who do t take things on, maybe you did it joyfully and maybe it was fine, but no.
No, it actually started changing when I started learning my gene keys in human design
Mm,
because I was working in my not self by taking on the end of the project, pulling it all together. But in actual fact, I'm the drop the seeds and walk away.
mm,
Whoever's supposed to pick up the seeds I drop, hallelujah. If the seed's not supposed to be picked up, it will just go away.
mm,
Right. And yeah, it took a long time because um and so even with this first responders retreat, it is also about the rising of the sleeping phoenix. The phoenix is here. The fire has been done. We're in a new world of Aquarius. The Piscean age is over. How do you want to raise your feminine, which isn't man or woman, your feminine to move forward through this time? Because depending on the dates, we could be 17 years more, 19 years more. It doesn't matter. The feminine is here, right? We are definitely solidified in the rising of the feminine for 20 years. It just is a matter of what date it's ending. And that's why we're going to see the most change in this world from today to 2030. 2030, like all this stuff that we've been going through will look like a blip in the history books.
Nice. Yeah, definitely moving back into our hearts, moving into love, getting out of the masculine brain, you know,
Yeah.
trying to trying to figure everything out. Let's move back
Well,
into love.
and as we talked about, right? Like with the wars or whatever, I don't know if it's going to be in our lifetime. I really don't. But there is foreshadowing of all these imaginary lines disappearing, right?
Yep.
So you won't have the state of Texas or the province of Alberta or
Yeah,
the whatever. They're all just going to disappear.
that's
Yep.
it.
And all technology is going to be done for the world, and all farming will be done for the world, and all whatever, right? And so, yeah, government will it go away? No, but it's going to decrease a ton. Will military go away? No, it's going to decrease a ton. And we'll have, say, 8 leaders as a collective looking after this earth. At the bottom as the people rule. Because we're coming into community, we're coming into unity, the unison of one.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yep.
Is it in our lifetime? I can't see it happening that fast, but who knows?
I can.
Yeah.
Can do. Yeah, absolutely.
We're
Yeah,
in the
I think
process of
that
seeing it.
and I
Yeah.
think that we are all here to be stewards of the earth. We're not here to be governed, and we are here to govern ourselves, to learn how to govern our own behavior, to, bring our own gifts and talents and do what we can to make the world a better place, to steward this earth and, be good stewards.
Yeah, and those dividing lines, like you said, they're going to disappear, but the thing is they don't actually exist. They're just they're just imaginary, right? They're not real,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And so the what's happening right now, um, I guess kind of under the radar, but it's growing, is that that people are realizing who we really are and who we're not and what we're not and how the imaginary lines don't define us
Hmm.
and then we're saying, okay, what does? Like what is, like, if we're not in that, in that box, right? Then how does that translate? And so we're becoming aware of it ourselves, we're embodying it, and then we're finding ways to translate and explain it to the ones who want to keep us in the box because that's all they know how to do and that's what they think they should be doing. And we're
Hmm.
just like, no, I'm not in that box. Here's why. You're not actually in it either. But keep doing what you're doing if you want, but I'll be over here
Yeah.
being a child of God.
Outside the box.
Well, and it like okay, so I gotta mention. So I heard a channel the other day that was talking about the rainbow. And everyone says the rainbow's this magnificent, beautiful thing, and how could we, you know, like let it go? And he was saying the channel was saying, well, we have the rainbow, but so many of us have taken the yellow out. So it's not complete because we have lost our connection to self and God.
Mhm.
So the rainbow is incomplete because we're thinking we're doing it all on our own. And God's saying, well, really, you're not. Like my rainbow still has the yellow. You guys have taken the yellow out or interchangeable any other color. So if you want to see the whole rainbow and live in that magnificence, we have to have connection.
Right,
And then you think about Mother Nature and, well, the first internet were the trees. The trees have always talked, right? And I remember growing up and I'd be like, oh my gosh, you're a granola. We're the tree huggers, right? Because I just went, whatever, even though as a nature person. And now there's a park that I go to, and there's certain trees that I go for certain wisdom,
Mhm.
right? And this one tree I call Mr. Grumpy. And I'll be walking, he goes, I have a message. And I'm like, Grumpy, you have a message? Like, you're not being grumpy today? And we have this joke, right? Like, because some days he's grumpy and he's like, keep walking. And so it is just funny because, and then I laugh because I'm like, oh, I called those other people granolas because I was the first granola to be able to call them granolas. It's all fun. It's all
It
fun.
is. See. And
But
that's
I think the biggest thing we can all remember is that we're all one. And as I do something, or you guys do something, we're all doing it together, maybe in different vicinities or different ways, but it's all together for the higher consciousness of humanity. Yeah.
Absolutely. One grand adventure.
Yeah. Well, at
Beautiful,
least we're laughing through it. It's better
right?
than crying through it.
At this point, I am for a long
I
time.
know.
Now I have gotten my laugh back.
Yeah.
I do
Yeah.
both. Crying's always been my thing, so I still do it.
Well, no, but like crying to me now is just like this most beautiful, much needed release that I don't, I give thanks to it when it comes, but in my 20s, it was combined with anger, and it was not a pretty scene,
Mhm.
Mm.
right? Because I have my moments with God. Oh, this is beautiful, walking in the forest or whatever, and then like reality hits, bang. I'm like, that door hurt. Like,
Mm.
like,
But that can be a time of a big shift
oh,
in
I know, but it was just,
stuff, right?
yeah, it was that teeter totter for me. It was just like
Yeah.
I'm having this magical, aha moment, and then I get dropped back into reality, and it's like, I don't want to be here. This
Gotcha.
sucks, right? Like the grind of every day, like trying to get people to understand. Like you just had this huge awakening you want to share, and they're just like, yeah, we don't get you, right? And in my case, I just stopped sharing. I just stopped talking. And
Mhm.
then they go, well, why aren't you talking? I said, we don't want to hear it. So
Mhm.
I'll keep my grand ahas to myself.
Mhm.
But that's always what kept me as a journaler. I journal it all and write it all. And
Yep.
so,
Well, it's good that we're allowing our voices to be heard now. Me and Lisa and you and others who are just allowing ourselves to be who we are and to appreciate who we are and allow others to experience it and express their appreciation for it. It's really nice.
well, and to add to that, like years ago, I was hearing we were leaving the written word, going back to the spoken word. And I was like, what? And then you started hearing all this like, well, they're not building libraries anymore and the books are going away. And I'm like, what? And then all of a sudden the surgeons of podcasts. And I'm like, oh, maybe that's the message I was hearing all along,
Mm.
Yeah.
right? That the spoken, like not only the spoken word, but to be um, very decisive in the words we choose to speak,
Mm.
right? Because you can speak words that are very harmful, or you can speak words that are very kind. And choosing that kindness in the word, especially with self,
Yeah.
Yeah.
because like I know I would never speak to somebody how I have spoken to myself,
Right.
right?
Yeah.
So yeah,
Yes. But then the way we speak to ourselves is like how we all speak to ourselves. It's not even really our voice. It's like the, the all the conditioning, all the programming, all the,
yeah,
you know, not the things that God says to us.
Right.
I'll be like, oh, demonic me showing up, you can go away. No, not that crazy, but yeah. But then it comes down to two, because as a young child and early adolescent, like I was trying to find God in the church. And I'd go to church and synagogue and blah blah blah. And I'm like as you were saying earlier, it's like, but that's not truth,
Yeah. It's not
right?
where you
Like,
find him. It's not where you
yeah,
find God.
and And because I had such a connection and such a reverence for my relationship, like by the time I started to try go to church, it didn't make sense, you know?
Hmm.
Although I did find a church for a while there that um I stayed because the pastors were God led.
Hmm.
Like there was one time our head pastor, he was like, I really had a great talk for you guys today, but I'm being led to teach a different message.
Hmm.
And he'd put it aside and you could see the channel coming through. And I was just like, that's why I stay.
Ah, nice.
Because they listened. They truly listened.
Hmm.
And I remember one of the Christmas services, like they kept on saying, "Oh no, we don't need help. It's gonna be different." And I'm like, "Okay, whatever." And you go to walk in and you go through this black tarp or whatever, right? And they had a string quartet, the cross, and the lights were low. Not a word was said for an hour and a half.
Hmm.
It was the most powerful thing I've been to.
Wow.
Wow.
But they wouldn't share it, right? Whoever was supposed to be there, that's how they set it up. Whoever is supposed to come for Christmas, um, will see it.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people in church that were mad they didn't go.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm like, you weren't supposed to be there.
Right? And
Hmm.
you were.
Yeah.
It's beautiful.
Yeah.
Well, Adele, it's so fun to talk with you.
I know.
We could go on all
Like,
day.
like I want to keep talking.
We'll have to have you back.
Okay.
Awesome.
And and where if for those people who have been listening and they're like, I want to connect with Adele some more, what would you recommend they do?
Well, the easiest way is the book 101 behind my head. That goes straight into my calendar. We can have a free call. And then or my LinkedIn profile and reach me there. Um and I'm sure you'll have more in the show notes because I
Yes.
gave you a whole
Yes,
bunch.
we will.
But more importantly, if you are a first responder and you are looking to come to the retreat at the end of September 2026,
Mhm.
yeah, get in touch with me.
Ah, it's coming right up. Nice.
I know. Yeah, I'm trying not to let my planning logical brain freak out. Just follow. Just follow. Um, yeah, because it is definitely God inspired, God led, and um it's what's needed.
Yeah, absolutely.
So
Beautiful.
Thank you. Thank you for doing
yeah.
that.
Yes. Fantastic. It's been such a joy having you here today, Adele. And I'm sure when our podcast comes out with, your podcast comes out with us, we'll be able to link it in YouTube and then we can,
Yeah.
find all of these beautiful conversations that we have.
Yeah, and I it'll be in August. I know that for sure.
All right. Awesome.
Cool. This one's
Dates, I
probably
don't
gonna
know,
be
but August for sure.
this one's probably gonna be tomorrow.
That's
Yeah.
it.
No,
All right.
no, because I have to get your husband out before you guys. So
Uh,
Oh, all right. Have you interviewed him yet?
yeah, that's how I
Okay, good.
found you guys.
Oh, right, right, right. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, so he comes first. Well,
Yeah.
you're okay, good.
Yeah.
Great.
I don't even know what he talked about on that call, but with everything he's doing now, he's probably miles ahead.
Oh, really?
Yeah, you should have him on again.
Hilarious.
Yeah, he's
Yeah, it's crazy.
got
He's
it
doing,
going on. He's a busy guy.
yes,
Lot-
he is.
Lots of stuff, lots of irons in the fire.
Yeah. He's
It's
having
cool.
fun.
Oh,
Having
Well,
fun.
that's all we're supposed to do, right?
Yeah.
Like when yeah, when it's not fun, we're stressing ourselves out. We don't need to.
that's right.
Yep.
So
Cool.
All right.
Oh, and
very
he's
cool.
back on Facebook if you want to look for him. He was, I
Okay.
mean, all his old accounts are still there, but they won't let him into them. So
Oh no.
he stayed off for years, and now finally he's just like, I'll find a way in, and he just, got a new thing going, and so he's it's small at the moment, but it's growing fast because that's what happens with him.
Interesting. Okay, I'll have to reach out to him and get all those links.
Yeah, yeah.
Mm,
Cool. All
all
right,
Very
right.
cool.
Adele, thanks so much for coming.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank you.
you.
Thank
It's been
you.
fun.
Yes.
Yeah, and have fun with your retreat. I'm sure it's going to be great.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. Thank you so much, everyone, for watching. This has been Lisa Warner and Mara Leon S. of Lisa and Mara's Magical Mystery School for Whole Being Healers on the Whole Being Healing podcast with our beautiful guest today, Adele Bernard. Thank you so much, and we'll see you next time.
Yes, we
Thanks.
will. Meanwhile, happy
Happy
healing.
healing.